So we're going to go over how to create some collisions in our world and to be able to know what collided with what. So currently we have a fixture, and that fixture is able to move around this world quite easily. So one of the things that we'll be able to do is know if that fixture came in contact with another fixture. So right now we really only have two fixtures, right? We have the floor, and yes, we have other objects in the world, but they're really just the graphics. We haven't created any physics for them or any bodies for them. So we're gonna try to figure out when our fixture, our little guy right here, is in contact with the only other fixture, which is the floor, the ground. The first thing that we need to do is we're going to have to create a package, and in this package we're going to put quite a few of our utility classes, some of the things that just help us do things within our world. So generally you put the constants in here, and you'll be able to also uh, put in things like the contact listener that we're about to do. So a contact listener is a class that will give you certain methods that will help you know when one fixture came in contact with another fixture. So we're going to go to new, we're going to create a class, and we're going to call it world contact listener. Again, you can call it anything that you'd like, but generally we call it that. And here we'll say that this implements contact listener, and let it autocomplete. And it's going to tell you that there are a few methods that contact listeners must have. Would you like to implement them? So you go ahead, yes, and then you go okay. So what are these methods? Well, whenever a fixture comes in contact with another fixture, begin contact happens. So any code in here will happen when two fixtures uh, touch or collide. And then when two fixtures end colliding, then this gets called fixtures collide. Then there are pre-solve. So while they're colliding, would you like for something to happen before they end colliding? Would you like to do something in between? Would you like to sort of mess with their movement, so on? We're not going to use this one. And then post solve is going to give you a bunch of information about what happened after the collision, whether they're moving in different directions, what are the angles in which they're moving, and so on. So we're sort of going to stay away from those two. So what we want to do is we want to figure out when our player touched something else. Now, a few things that we're going to want to do. We're going to go to our world, and we're going to tell it that there is now a set contact listener, world contact listener, or sorry, new world contact. So we're going to set the contact listener for this world contact listener that we created. So now this world is going to use whatever is inside of these methods to be able to do things within it. Now that we've done that, we want to figure out what two things collided. So we are able to say, get me the first object. So first object equals contact dot get fixture A. So when two objects collide, it might have been that A collided with B or B collided with A. We're not sure, so we're going to get both of them. So we're going to get both fixtures. So second object equals contact dot get fixture B. So we're not sure if it was the first object that collided with the second one with the first. So what we're gonna try to figure out is if either one of those is our player, then we're gonna go ahead and do something at the beginning of the context. So we're gonna say if first object equals say player, for second object equals player, and then we're going to log something. So we're going to say GDX app dot log, and we're going to say in begin contact, and then we're going to say player began contact. But right now this is telling me that this doesn't, we can't really do equals like this. Like, this is just not gonna work. So maybe we could do something like instance of player, and it says we can't convert those two. So how would we compare this object with another object? The easiest way, what we're going to do is that we are going to go to our player, and when we create it, we are going to set some user data. And to set some user data, we're going to have to give it like a specific ID, so that we can be able to figure out if whatever we're trying to compare has that ID. So right now I could say I give it an ID of 99, and then I would go here to contact listener, and I would say first object dot get user data equals 99, and second object dot get user data equals 99. So what's happening here is I'm saying look at the two objects that collided, get the data from the first object, is that data 99. Now the only place where I've set data to 99 is here, and that's just a random number. You can do any number that you want. If that first object doesn't have data of 99, then can you check the second object, see if it has data of 99? And we're going to go ahead and run that, and it's going to tell us that an object and an int are not okay. So one of the things that will be useful is if we go to context, and we go public static final capital I, and then autocomplete integer, and we call this player ID equals 99. So we're going to use this variable to hold this object. So ints are not objects, they're just primitive values. But we actually want an object. Usually an object has a capital I, so there's this integer object that we can use. And then we go over here to level 1, or sorry, player, and then we're going to say constants. Instead of just that 99, we're going to do constants dot player ID. So we're going to set the user data to this integer 99 that we created here, and then here in contact listener, then we can go let's get the user data out of the object, and let's see if it's that. So if it's player ID, and then here constants dot is it player ID. Now we'll run it, and we have our printout down here, so we see that something printed out in begin contact, player began contact, which is what we have right here. Then we're going to try to jump, and we're going to try and see if new contact began. So if I go over here, no, contact's still going on, so contact hasn't ended. But if I end contact by jumping and then come back around, now I have a new contact. So let's do the same thing over here for end contact. So I'm just gonna get two fixtures. I'm gonna check if the fixtures are a player ID. If they are, if one of them is a player ID, then I'm gonna say int end contact player ended. I'm just gonna say end. I'm gonna put it in caps just to see it easily. And then player began contact. As soon as I jump, it should end the contact. I'm gonna say end, and then began, and began. And then if I'm just staying up, it ended and hasn't begun again, and then now I began. So what's gonna happen is that you'll be able to put some logic in here that says what happens when you come in contact with something else.